Alright, so today we're going to do our third segment on gun stories. And normally we do things that are kind of neat or, whatever. We think they're fascinating for whatever reason. But today we got to give you a disclaimer. We're going to have a pistol that we're going to show you. It comes with some pictures. It's a family heirloom of ours. It's got some very graphic photos. So we want to be clear with you. It's very graphic, what you're about to see. But it's such a crucial part of history. We want to cover it and talk about it. So we just want to be clear with you folks. If you got kids or anything nearby or easily offended, you don't want to see this. But anyway, Art's going to do gun stories today. He's got a few pieces he wants to show, and we're going to turn you over to him.
Today is December 8th, 2018, and yesterday was Pearl Harbor Day, and my dad was in World War II, like a lot of other old timers out there. However, we're losing almost 400 of them a day, so our World War II vets won't be with us much longer. But my dad, like many other guy, he was drafted in the Army. He was in Patton's Army, and he, like many other draftees, went to war basically because they had to. They were kind of forced through the draft. But so while they were at it, their main thing they went for when they got there was souvenirs. So they, a lot of GIs went to war to collect souvenirs. And my dad was one of them that didn't get too many. The only thing I can remember him bringing back was this 30 caliber Mauser and an old beat up 98 Mauser, and he got those through a trade. He was in Patton's Army, and he set up artillery. He was an engineer. So anyway, he came across this is about the only thing that he gave to me, left to me when he passed away a few years ago, and we're going to pass this on down through the family. As a kid, we would sneak this old gun out and shoot it, and the bore is pretty shot out on it because of the corrosive primers and all. But that gun means a lot to me. My dad was quite a letter writer. I have lots and lots of letters that he wrote to my mom. I told my dad, I said, I guess you were pretty lonely when you were over there in Europe. He said there was a lot of lonely soldiers over there, and he said I was just one of them. He helped liberate a concentration camp near Austria. They claimed there were none in Austria or near Austria, and lo and behold, they did. He has a lot of pictures here. These pictures all say the same thing. They say German concentration camp located near Wels, Austria, Gunskirchen-Lager. Photographs taken by Polish prisoner and turned over to the United States government. Camp composed largely of Jews, Russians, and Poles. So he's got a lot of these pictures of the Holocaust and maps that he brought back with him. Map of Germany here. Lots of love letters to my mom. I keep all these in a nice shadow box here, and that's something we're going to pass down from generation to generation. It's just it's part of history, and it's just kind of really neat stuff. Just I'm kind of really into Nazi paraphernalia. I'm kind of fascinated by the stuff, and my dad was just part of that. Said he shot at an Austrian soldier one time, not an Austrian soldier, but a German soldier, and as he was running away, and he missed him. And later on they captured him, and as they captured him, he thanked them over and over again for missing him and not shooting him, and he wanted to go back home to his family like most other soldiers did back in those days. So this is just my part of my family's heritage, and we're just pretty proud of it and happy to have it. And this will be passed down from generation to generation, and it's probably not worth a lot of money, but to me it's priceless. It's worth a lot to me. So that's my story today of my World War II collection here, and hope you enjoyed it. We got another project in just a week or so ago. We get all kinds of cool stuff in here. We get the neatest things that you can ever imagine that come through the shop. And as you know, we are kind of Auto 5 guys here. We're well known around the country for Auto 5s. We restored literally thousands of them out there. We got an old engraved early Auto 5 came in the other day. It's really rough. It's really bad. Before I read the letter on it, I'll kind of point out a few of the problems. Somebody's beat on the screw here. We're going to have to replace that screw. As you can see, action tooths break off on these, and somebody did a very unprofessional job of brazing that on there. We've got to get all that off.
English stock.
Yeah, we're going to do a straight grip. We're going to do, we're making a new stock for it. It's going to be a straight grip. We're going to put the teardrop on it and all, with some pretty nice wood on it and a slender forearm that the flutes won't run all the way out on. So everything will look original and factory. And it's going to take a lot of work, and the man's spending a lot of money on this gun. It needs a lot of work. It's got some cracks. It's got a crack about a 1/2 inch long, runs down through just behind the ejection port. It's got a large crack right back here at the tang. We will TIG weld all of that up and dress it down. Our engraver will go over it. It's going to need a little touch-up work on engraving anyway after we polish it. So at that time, whatever, oh, and here's another issue. The forearm got beat out on it like they do, and they kept shooting it, and this operating handle, they come forward too far once the forearm gets beat out, and then it comes into contact with the receiver. So it pounded out the receiver. They just kept shooting it with the forearm being bad, and put a notch in the receiver. It doesn't belong there. We're going to take care of that. So the gun needs a lot of work. Cool old gun, one of the neatest I've ever had. I'm going to read to you a letter that we got from FN. It says, Dear Mr. Collins, the owner of it, it says, I, by the means of this letter, am pleased to provide you the following information on your FN Browning firearm. Get this now. It's a FN Browning auto shotgun, serial number, whatever, 12 gauge, factory engraved. Here's the cool stuff. It says, FN factory records confirmed that shotgun number 4672 was completed and entered FN warehouses on January 22nd, 1904. How cool is that? It was retained at the factory as a display sample and vanished from the factory during World War I. This shotgun was part of the original 10,000 guns ordered by John M. Browning, but not delivered after 1903. FN had, at the time, just started their internal engraving department in 1903 and made a few engraving samples for display and marketing purposes. It says the engraving shop was relatively small at that time. It was largely expanded and restructured in 1926 under the supervision of Felix Funken. This shotgun was likely stolen from the factory by German occupying forces during World War I and may have made its way to the United States after World War I or World War II with returning servicemen. There again, our servicemen went to war to bring home souvenirs, so we that's very possible that happened with this gun. So that's our letter that we got from Fabrique Nationale.
Flip it over, show the other side.
Huh?
Flip it over, show
The old gun is really, really bad. It needs a lot of work. Something interesting. Look at this barrel. I really don't think that's factory. I have never seen such a thing. It looks like somebody just bored out an old 12 gauge barrel and then slid it over the existing barrel. I'm going to remove that unless I find out it's factory, and I just don't think it is. I've never seen that. And then we're going to relocate and fit this ramp down to the barrel like it should be. The barrel's got some dents in it we've got to remove. It's got a cap that's badly chewed up like most of them have. Just a really rough old gun, but when we're done, it's going to look really cool. It's going to be really neat, especially after our engraver gets to it and sharpens up all that engraving, goes over it. And we will blue this in a low luster blue that will look like a rust blue, excuse me, and we will niter blue the trigger and the safety and the screws, so it has that nice niter blue look to it. And we're going to straighten this poor old gun out and put it back to like it was when it was factory original. So today we have a grade 322 auto that was engraved by Angelo B. My son and I are going to go out and see Angelo next month, and we're going to do a video with him. And he's getting ready to retire. Angelo's 80-some years old.
I think 85.
85 or so. He's winding down. He's not engraving too much anymore. And this is one of the last of them he's done. This was a 22 short that was a grade 1 gun, and we neutralized, removed the grade 1 engraving, and sent it to Angelo. and he turned that into a grade 3. Real pretty little gun right now. And we came up with some grade 3 wood and put on it, and this will probably be one of the last of them that Angelo will do. He's not totally retiring, but he has every right in the world to slow down at his age because of being 85 years old or so. You get kind of tired after a while, I can tell you. So this will probably be one of the last of them that he does, that he did for a customer of ours, and we put the grade 3 wood on it, and I'm going to re-gold plate trigger, I think, make it a little brighter and a little deeper gold, and the gun's all tricked out and ready to go, and just pretty much a copy of a factory grade 3. I always say Angelo ought to know what the patterns are. He's done enough of them. So that's the story of this little gun today. The wood's a little proud on the metal where we took the original engraving off. So I'm going to trim the wood down a little closer to the metal so it's not quite so proud. And then we'll spot finish that wood and make things look a lot better. So that's the story of this little grade 3 here today.